And what does it mean to talk about a guerrilla warfare? From a soldier's point of view, I think it means that it's very difficult to tell friend from foe. Given that it was a war, it began as a civil war between the two Koreas, and so from a soldier's point of view, who's coming in as a foreigner into Korea, you can't really tell whether someone's from the north or the south, and that made the fighting very difficult. And in fact, it led to many of the sort of the tragedies that we've heard about. There was one particular story that came out through the Associated Press in 1999 of civilian massacres in a town called Dogunri, where basically soldiers were given orders to shoot them all because they could not tell the difference between the refugees and who were enemy combatants. And from the civilians' point of view, you can imagine just how terrifying it would be to try to flee the war front. There was essentially no difference between the war front and the home front. War zones were going up and down the peninsula, and towns and cities were being taken by the opposing occupation forces multiple times. And basically, depending on what your behavior during that opposing occupation forces were, you would be held responsible essentially for having colluded with the previous regime. But of course, as a civilian, you have essentially no choice. I mean, you have to do what you have to do to survive.